Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com and we are back with part 4 of How to Crush the Blazing Cannon Football Edition over on Betvictor. All of you have seen the Blazing Cannon now. You win 20 hands post-flop, you fire off a cannon and win €1, €10 or €100. I could go on explaining it, but you'll see it at some point in this video. But loads of money to be made, super soft, 10NL, 5 cent, 10 cent, fast fold variant. Let's go. Live poker, no hoods. Hitting it raw. Open under the gun. Quite a loose one, but I like to show it with those suited gap connectors now and then from early position. Hashtag don't hate my ranges. 5-7 suit, we're going to open the cutoff. 5-7 off, we open the button. It's pretty close, but definitely falls within my button opening range. And especially in these fast fold games where so many people fold super quick from the blinds. 5-7 suited, we can definitely check or we can bet, but with second pair and the backdoor draws galore, also repping the ace high, absolutely fine there. Obviously we can barrel all of our draws, we can barrel our two pairs, our three of a kinds, or we can just check down and sometimes win versus a hand like 6-8 off, something like that. So yeah, we're just going to check down. He had ace-8, not a problem. We're going to maybe put that under some extreme pressure, but I think when people just peel from the big blind, it's very hard to fold them out there. And the fact that we can have the best hand means that it would just be over bluffing a little bit too heavy. 5-6 suited here, I isolated this Latvian ace guy, and I'm probably just going to check give up on a board like this, or hope that it goes check-check and we hit a 4 on the river. We hit an ace, maybe we bet this ace. Interesting that he bets the minimum. It's pretty close here. I think we do have to raise here because we'd raise all of our ace jacks and ace queens. It just does look a bit too bluffy if I'm him, but he can just show it with all sorts of 10s, 8s and 7s. Sadly though, he showed it with the ace-3 of spades, but I don't actually hate my line there at all. It does feel like one of those spazzy kind of bluff spots. But just the way they play, they're often going to show it with a really weak hand, which wants to go to showdown, which is not, a weak top pair by any means. It could just be a weak any pair. So I'm actually happy to go ahead and take that one down. Well, not take it down, but, have a shot at taking it down, because if we call, we do not win with 6 high, and if we fold, we certainly do not win. So once we've seen the weakness, we do have to go ahead and attack it. And I definitely probably bluff more a lot in those spots than most, but I feel it's the correct thing to do, so that's why I go ahead and do it. If you disagree or agree, just leave a comment below. Let's talk it out. Let's create a forum thread. Let's hash it out between us. Anyway, two very standard opens here. One blind versus blind and one on the button. Again, lots of people would have just automatically folded that 10-6 suited, thinking, oh, it's fast fold, I can get a stronger hand, whatever. No, made the money. I just took down that pot. I got my blind back and I got his blind. Happy days. And, long term, we're going to make lots of money doing that. Open 9-10 suited here, get 2 callers. And possibly 3 on the big blind. Queen 10 offsuit again, hanging around, opening that button, min raising. Risking 20 cents to win 15. Do the maths, it's a pretty good scenario. Not good when we get a 3-bet though, just as I'm boasting the success rate of it. Obviously going to fold with the Queen 10. 9-10 suited his, unless he's having a little tank, might have just sat out or something. He calls, so we're 4-way, and I have pretty much nothing and nothing and nothing. So in this spot, I am just going to go ahead and, check fold. People are like, yeah, but you shouldn't auto check fold. I know, but, in this spot we are just going to fold even versus a min bet because we've got 2 people behind us. Deuces I peeled, we get a really bad flop as expected, and we check fold. We could even fold those deuces pre-flop for 65 big blinds. But I do like to defend my blind. Okay, I realised how quick I was just talking there. Getting 3-bet a lot today, guys. It is a Sunday afternoon at 10 to 4. When I'm making this video, so there are going to be a lot more, crazy people out there online, which is a great thing. I think there's about 100 players in the player pool at this time of day. Let's have a look. 101, that'll do. 10-8 suited under gun, really nice playable hand that flops well. Take it down. Wow, we've seen no post-flop action. These aces might just do the trick, though. Open the King 9 suited, get called. Going to go for a check call line here. The reason is we're going to induce some bluffs. We've got the back doors. We're going to control the size of the pot. Turn, I'm going to go ahead and bet. I basically think he can have a lot of Queen 10s, Jack 10s, flush draws that I can go ahead and call with. It's actually pretty close. We could definitely just check call once more, but it's a very wet turn, so it's definitely fine to just get hands that he have with equity to either fold or call, because then we make money. pretty close actually. I think I've often been checking that turn and just realizing it's not faring too well in the long run, so prefer to just go ahead and start betting it now. 5-6, sorry, A6. I bet I get called pretty quick. Pretty bad turn card from my hand, even though we do now have a gut shot, but it's the bad end, and we could already be drawing dead. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and check fold there. 10-4 offsuit, limp blind versus blind here. I'm going to definitely have to call with this second pair, even though he did pop bet it. This turn will be a fold though. It's a bad overcard, and even though we're getting a really good price now, we could be in just a whole lot of trouble. Even his 10s beat us because we have just no kicker. Loose Wayne. I like this. You can't have a hood, but they mark them for you. Pretty kind of micro gaming there. Some guy just plays loads of pots and they just put this massive luminous badge on his head. I think in one of the videos I tried to 4-bet one of these guys and I got the treatment. I got the eyeball. So I'm just going to call here, assuming that I dominate his range. I'm in position. I'm going to dominate like his kings and queens, of course. Gonna fold this flop, 2 overs, queen high, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. If he is as loose as they say, then, king high could also be good right now. Turn really bad, so now it'll just be a fold. He actually checks, which is interesting. Guess I just check back and possibly go to showdown or rep some rivers. I think he might not have a jack, but have a hand like one pair, which he's happy to go to showdown with. So even though he is loose, he might not have a loose river calling range. So I'm going to go ahead and just bet here with my king high, because I don't think it's always going to be the best hand, basically. So just to be sure and take the pot down. And he seemed to show no want for that pot at all, so we definitely should. King 10 suited we opened, and King 6 suited we opened, and get 3-bet by a loose Wayne friend. King 10 suited, I'm just going to go ahead and bet here. You can definitely have a lot of hands that call me. Flush draws, queen 10s, jack 10s, jack queens. Yeah, just the ace of hearts for the backdoor, not a flush draw. So we can definitely get value from there. I don't think we have to be that worried because he didn't 3-bet us pre-flop, but you can still have king jacks and king queens, but his range can also be a lot wider than that in general. And we can get value from those. Interesting with the ace 10, maybe a 4-bet spot missed there, but I think with very little limited information, we can just muck it out of position. Maybe in position we could have done something with that. 2 playable hands here. Ace jack suited, I think we're just going to go ahead and 3-bet versus mid position. King jack suited, he 5x's. We've got to assume he's a weak player, so we're going to go ahead and call. Ace jack suited, not the greatest flop for us, but one we can definitely c-bet, because you can have like 8s and 9s, which can go ahead and just fold, or we can even call to the hand like a jack queen or jack 9, so why the hell not? We're going to fold on both tables, however. Did not go our way. Getting a bit beat up this session. Part 4s are normally a bit better for running good. But hey, we just remain cool, calm, and collected and scoop all that money. Definitely up a good 5 or 6 buy-ins over this 4-part series. Couple hours grind. Huge win rate there, and of course we're getting the we're getting everything else, the bonus, the rake back, all of that good stuff. Here I think I'm just gonna let the guy bluff into me, and I'm just never gonna think about folding. If he bets really large on the turn, I would just jam it because there's draws galore out. Once he checks, I'm just going to bet around 2/3 pot and get it in. 7-9 gets on the river, but if he jams, I'm just going to call because we get a hand like 9-10 or queen 9 or queen 7 or 7-8, something like that. He had just queen 10, so that's a bit of a shame. He was dead to a 10. But I think we played our hand perfectly there, and we should never think about folding 2 people who limp like that, and when they can just have literally anything, be doing anything, and just have no brain generally at all. But he did get the maximum from us, so round of applause for whoever that guy was. What was his name? His name was WJ. We'll see if we can see him and we'll mark him as a fish, because that was dreadful. That was not the best thing I've ever seen by anyone. But that's the great thing with this game. It draws those fish. They're desperate to win post-flop. God, we are really losing every single pot. But I would say again, and I speak about this in a lot of my videos, I never delete a video or remake one. If I make mistakes, I'm happy to show it. If I get beaten up, I'm happy to show it. If things don't go my way, I'm happy to show it. And the reason I'm so passionate about doing that is because I'm a real poker player. Like, I've had these sessions personally, I've had these sessions coming up. Like, we'll all go through it. And, I hope it just basically, confirms to you guys, for people who play higher than you or have been around longer than you, poker sessions aren't just always easy. Sometimes you run into the nut. Sometimes you play poorly. But the main thing is you just play your best possible game throughout. And that's all you can do. Anyway, 5-2, we're going to go ahead and bet for value and protection. And ace-king, we 3-bet here and we're not going to fold. Ace-king, obviously, just the nut-no pair. You know, huge hand in hold'em. If he 4-bets, we jam, and we don't really care what he does. If he folds, that's good. If he calls, that's fine. It looks like he's going to peel, which is okay. We flop 60% of a raw flush. Definitely fine to go ahead and value bet here, because we would definitely value bet our queens, kings, aces, jacks, and so on. He actually leads, which is a bit weird. I'm going to go ahead and float one off here, because I do have all those backdoors as mentioned, and I'm really not too sure what his leading range is here. You know, on this turn, he really shouldn't bet anything. He should let me bluff, or he should just slow down with all of his mediocre hands. I'm hoping he checks so I can check, basically. I don't think I just need to bluff a lot here. I think he can have hands that I beat, and I also just have the 2 overs and the nut flush draw, so we're going to check. We do make the nuts, and I think that 10's a really good card because he can definitely have pocket 10s in his range, and that he might have led the flop with, try and take it down. So we're just hoping he bets here, and then we can jam it. He actually checks, which sucks, so I assume he doesn't have that strong of a hand. So I'm going to give him a good price to call here. About 3-1 he's going to be getting on his money. Going to isolate on the other table. He actually snap folds, so really no idea what he was doing there. Really no idea what he was doing there. I think there are probably a lot better ways for him to play that hand. So anyway, I isolated over on table 2, and I flopped a very good hand. I have a pair and a flush draw. And this guy leads, so I'm just going to call. You know, why not? I'm in position, I've got a pair, I've got a flush draw. The pot's going to get big enough or stay small enough. It's up to us. 10 will just be a call as well. Okay. We get a pretty good river card there. Takes, you know, it's harder for him to have an ace now, but he can definitely have a queen. We're just going to call. And he actually just has king 4 suited. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, you are not very good, Mega 800. We're going to note you as a fish. I mean, you tell me. Anyway, we're at 19 out of 20 to fire off our next cannon. We've bricked the last 2. We break the last 2. I'm not happy about that at all. Mozonator seems to be a reg. I'm just going to go ahead and defend my small blind here. It's pretty close. We can actually fold. We can actually 3-bet. I guess it all just depends on how comfortable you are playing post-flop and how you rate your skills. Going for a delayed c-bet here versus Vetty because he's a loose Wayne. I'm going to bet now because I think I'm going to have the best hand a good amount of the time. King Queen I'm just going to check. River I might bet if he kind of makes his hand face up. But he doesn't, so I'm going to go ahead and fold. And we take it down, guys. We're firing the cannon. Let's go. Come on, we can't break, 3 out of 3. Oh no, we have. Unbelievable. Betvictor's so rigged. We get a foul. What's a foul? Foul's just a miss. Okay. Come on, Betvictor. You got to be kind for us. 17 minutes left of the video. We're going to really have to be winning at some serious pace to get another one fired off. Ace 4, we flop really well. Just going to go ahead and bet around 2/3 pot. He calls pretty quick. Turns good for our hand. We're going to bet pretty large because I assume he's got like an ace or a big draw. So I don't think he's going to fold that often. So I'm going to pump money into the pot. He actually does fold pretty quick there. Maybe a hand like pocket deuces or 3s. But generally there, I just really start to bomb it and just get so much value off hands like ace-jack, which seem to just never want to fold. I'm going to go ahead and lead. I don't want to lead pot. I'm going to lead 20 into 24 here. With my second pair, turns pretty bad. Going to be a check fold situation. River's interesting here. River's interesting. Going to go for a little block of value bet. He calls with kings. Interesting. Interesting. I think he basically call with worse. I don't want to check call, so a little block of value bet there's quite a nice line. It's this WJ guy. He was the crazy one, wasn't he, with Queen 10. So we'll mark him. We've pinned him. And obviously you guys can make lots of notes here. If you're going to be grinding these games, you definitely should have loads of color coding. Like, loads and loads of color coding. Going to go for the re-ISO. You guys know about this by now. Bad player limps, good player isolates. Better player re-isolates. Problem is people can wake up with big hands, but it's just a great line. It's just a great line, even in an out position. Led here with my straight draw, pinned it on the turn. Get called here, so we're just going to go ahead and bet, because that's what we would do with our large hands. I'm going to go ahead and bet my straight. Build a pot. Ace-jack, we take it down. This guy might call an all-in. I just don't know if he ever folds a king. So let's go ahead and stick it in and hope he does call. And he does call the top two pair. Poor guy, poor guy. But that's playing exploitative style, getting the maximum in every situation. You know, don't hate, you know, exploiting players. Don't buy into all this GTO stuff. If you know some guy's going to call off all of his stack, and you're only ever going to be doing it when you've got the nuts, it's okay, because that guy is not going to be back, you know. You're not going to run into that spot versus him. That money's only going to be there that once, probably, so get it. People will really, you know, people would burn me for saying stuff like that, but it's the truth. And it's how I play and it's how I make money, so go figure. King 8, we open in the cutoff, and this is going to be a little half-pot c-bet, I think. We've got some good turn cards. He actually just folds, which is awesome. I said we're going to have to be winning at some kind of rate to fire off another cannon. I mean, we've won 4 post-flop hands there in the first, 2 minutes, so can definitely happen. Going to go ahead and raise this with the ace-5. I don't really know what this guy's up to, so just going to go ahead and c-bet and win the pot. Like a boss. 5 out of 20. Can we really win 15 post-flop hands in another 15 minutes? It seems almost impossible. But this is what I will say is don't change your play to do so. That's what everyone else is doing, and that's why they're losing so much money. So get this call multi-way here with 8. It's going to peel with ace-9. Yeah, so basically lots of people just start battling to, you know, get that fire it off. Don't play any differently. Keep playing your game. You know, play great poker. Looks like it's going to be a really nice spot to go post flop. We've got Yeti in there, it's quite loose, so let's try and flop a set. We do not, so we can just go ahead and check fold. And it's not necessarily just flopping a set with 8s, although it pretty much is. Who are we kidding? But Yeti's in the pot. He's a loose Wayne. Definitely not a bad spot. Check through here. Pretty interesting. I don't know why this Brewbon would ever check a strong hand, so I might just check call him down if he starts to bet now, thinking that he might have had like ace-king or ace-queen with a diamond in his hand. So I can basically call the turn and then call any non-diamond river. Veti bets pretty large here. Really quite confused what he can have. Pretty sure this Brewbon just has like a big diamond. It's pretty close. I think we have to fold though. Just because that player is behind us, we could just get put in a world of trouble. We could be behind. You know, that Veti is loose, but we don't know if he's just a complete maniac who bluffs it off with nothing. Anyway, Mega 800, our little fishy friend. We're going to bet really small here. We're just going to represent we've got that ace. He might just go ahead and call, but hey, guess what, guys? We're going to turn a 9. So now we start betting for pure value. Am I beat? We'll find out soon, but I generally think I'm going to have the best hand here. So we're just going to bet. And give him really good odds to call. And yeah, he snaps us off and basically shows king high. But we know he's a fish. We know he's not going to have that many aces. We know 9's the nuts. We know that he won't call big bets. So we just did everything perfectly. Pat on my back maybe a bit there. Maybe I said that a really bit too egotistical, but we did. Again, please just leave any comments and reviews, and make sure you get signed up to Betvictor. If you're new to the game, if you're a serious grinder, whatever you are, you're going to make money on this site, and this is a great site to hone your skills, make money and do good things. Pop the nuts over here. Just going to go for my usual 2/3 pot size bet, 40 cents into 67. I do this with a lot of hands. If he raises, it'll be pretty interesting. Okay, he does raise, and the reason I'm going to 3-bet this flop, even though it looks very strong, it is very strong, and our hand does look very strong. If he's got a set or a flush, I don't want any scare cards to come off for him. I want to get all the money in now. So if he does fold, then it sucks, but people just don't really check raise bluff enough on these boards. So I'm just wanting him to, shove all the money in now, cooler him, and, job done. If he's got a hand like Jack-7, I don't want a heart to fall off. If he's got a, small flush, I don't want a heart to fall off, and so on. So here we get it all inverted 6-9 of hearts, and we win it all. And that's basically it. The board pairs on the turn, that comes the king of hearts on the river. It just never looks really good for us. Queen's here I flatted. We can mix it up between flatting and 3-bet, and I probably should 3-bet there, because people do call 3-bets a bit too often, but that's fine. That is fine, it's a different way of playing it, and we're just going to call down basically on every single run out. Maybe raise some rivers thin, depends what his sizing looks like. King's not ideal. I just don't think he has ace-king that often though, but we're going to just call down. Sadly he shows a set of 3s, but I think we played that hand really well considering. 8-10 suit, we're going to call. We can 3-bet or call. It's pretty close. Playable hand in position. Blah-de-blah. Going to go ahead and raise his c-bet on this swap. He's going to be c-betting a lot of mid pairs, and he's also going to be c-betting a lot of king highs and queen highs. So when we've got 60% of a straight flush, it is definitely okay to go ahead and call down. Once he check calls, I am done with the pot once I don't improve, because I assume he's got like a hand like jack queen, which he's pot controlling with, or maybe even a hand like 8s or 9s. Once he checks here though, I'm going to go ahead and value bet, because I think he doesn't just always have jacks, I think he also has those 8s and 9s which might call. So I'm just going to bet really small here and just try and price some value out of him. He might be check raising with jack X of spades, but I think this is pretty thin, but pretty good. Pretty good. Ace queen get a really bad flop in a 3-bet pot, so we're just going to give up. And that guy actually just folds, which is good because we then win a pot at non-showdown. Ace queen might be the best hand here, don't think I need to bluff, so yeah, it's just going to be a check down. He bets, I fold. Whatever. My attitude's really changed in this part 4, isn't it? Maybe, I think you guys are all up to speed, basically, so I think you just understand most of this. And then the complicated bits, I will try and talk a bit more in depth in. But yeah, these games are just so easy. Like, they really have been the easiest games of my life. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet ace-5 off, and I didn't really ISO, I just raised, really, when this guy limps the button. And then c-bet a king-high flop, and once he calls, I'm going to be done, because these players can often be super sticky. Don't think I'm going to win this pot, though. But I don't think I can get him to fold, so we're done. Bit passive, yeah. But, you know, you've got to have passiveness in you sometimes. 10 minutes to go, 11 hands to win. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I don't think it's going to happen. But when I will obviously get my value out of it and finish it off, and I will screenshot it and post it elsewhere. C-bet my ace-9, going to check here, just try and hit something on the river, which I do. 6 beats me, but if he bets, I will call. Even though he pots it. He actually just had king 10. I don't know why he would do that when I have so many ace-x's in my range. But you gotta love the heart. But I also like the 15 BBs he gave me. Thanks, bro. So yeah, I think a lot of you might be like, you know, Jesus, he's pot bet it here. He's probably got it. Yeah, he doesn't. People do just bluff a little bit too wide. Go ahead and 3-bet here, just trying to get in versus this meow guy. I assume ace-jack's going to be better than his hand a lot of the time. You know, he's obviously messing about with his client. He doesn't have much money. Got to label him a fish, really. I think 5x was fine. Evil Rabbit now thinking. Don't really know what he can have when he just flats and goes ahead and does this. So I'm just going to pump it in. I think he's just going to be bluffing a bit too often. You know, he should definitely be, you know, trying to get the value off this meow pre-flop with his big pairs and ace queens and ace kings. So although he can show up with them, I think this is fine. Just go ahead and rip. I just think he's going to be bluffing a lot, and yeah, he does fold quick, and that's just another thing of like, why would he ever flat that guy pre-flop with a hand of that much value? Because that guy just seems very like stationary, very fishy. He wants to get value. He should want the pot heads up, you know, especially with a hand like 10s or something, which, you know, doesn't play that well multi-way. He just wants it heads up and to get the value off the guy. Anyway, ace 10 here, we're going to go ahead and bet. Queen 5 is going to be a bet as well. Ace 10 I'm going to continue to bet here because I think he's going to have more draws than he is 9s. Queen 5 he led, so I called. River here, I think I'm going to value bet. And if he raises, I think I'm going to call. And I'm going to make it small enough that he can raise. Just because he could have missed so many draws here. I just continue to call with my Queen 5. I actually get a fold there. I just felt this guy probably had a worse 10. Maybe even something else like a call, like a 7, thinking that I've got a draw. Anyway, Queen 5 here, I'm pretty sure I've got the best hand. And yeah, we just print versus a7. Guys, get signed up, make some money. God, don't miss out on this. This is just, I mean, what? I literally do nothing special, and you know, they just gift money. I've got top pair, and he's just betting into me. I've got a straight, and the guy's just potting it. And you know, you saw the rough start I had, and I was saying I never delete these because it happens to us all. But just sit there, just chill, just enjoy it. Mega is a mega fish. We've got second pair and a 3 high flush draw. I'm not going to fold the flop. Actually, he's overbet. We're going to fold. We're going to fold. He's never done that before. That's worrying. I thought he was going to bet like half pot or like one big blind. So yeah, guys, honestly, just enjoy it. Like, print that money. You are never going to find a 10-0 game online right now which is softer than this. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. Just go ahead and check my 5-7 and start leading once I've hit 2 pair. Even though it's on a heart-to-heart board, which is not ideal. If he raised, I would probably just pot it and get it in, because I think he can be raising just with a lot of stuff, which doesn't beat my hand, but he will stack with, such as like a big nutted draw. Nines are just going to call. 4-bet cold. You're probably a loose player who gets out of line. Just going off his name. Maybe if he squeezes this, we'll just 4-bet nines and get it in versus him, because we assume he's the type to stack pretty light. Ace-Jack I open, I've been min-raised. Just going to call and try and hit a flop pretty hard, basically. That is generally the point here with these kind of hands. We shouldn't fall to that min-raise, but we shouldn't get too sticky post-flop. Nine's really just terrible run out, so it's going to be a fold. Gonna be a fold. Queen 10, again, hang around. Let's go for an isolation. You know, if we weren't isolating, we'd be opening. We're playing really good poker, really good ranges. Gonna go ahead and just 5x these ISOs from now on. Queen 10, we flop second pair. We isolated, remember. I think it's just fine for us to go ahead and bet. But once he leads, we're just going to call. Again, guys, we're in position. We have a strong hand. We block lots of cards. We have back doors. You know, there is no reason for us to do anything else. Really good run out. Just going to be a call on the river. Assuming he can have some king, queens, 8, 9s, and so on. If he has a speed, he has a speed. He has jack 9, which is a shame. But, you know, we controlled the pot. We got him to, you know, limp call pre with jack 9 off. When we had queen 10, we understood that we can definitely have the best hand. You know, everything went well for us there. You know, even though we lost the pot. So definitely some positives to be taken away from that hand. It's been a while since we've lost a pot. Didn't think I was losing that one. A7 we peel, really bad flop, going to be a check fold. He checks, so I guess he's never going to have the nut flush draw, but I really don't know how often I'm going to get him to fold any flush here, so I'm just going to give up. A7 could be winning as well. He could have had like 8, 9 of hearts, which he just checks down and gives up on. So we're just going to go to showdown here. If he bets, I'll fold. It's just too big of a hero call. And yeah, we do win. He just had, yeah, 9, 7 of hearts. Pretty much what I said. Queen 9 we peeled, we flopped 2 pair. I'm going to check raise this flop. And it turns pretty deadly for us, although I don't think he's going to have that many jacks. Or if there's another king, I'm going to bet here and just hope he goes in for 10 or something. It's dangerous because he can have a king, but I don't think he ever has a straight, basically. So I just want him to go ahead and call him for like a 10, like ace 10. Thinking, this makes no sense, buddy. Don't ever expect him to raise me, like ever. He actually has a king, which is sad, but it is what it is. I do value bet thin, and I think that was a good spot to do it in. That is essentially as deep as that thinking goes. Because, you know, it's like, how many kings and jacks do I have once I've played it that way? Probably not many, so we do get looked up quite light there. People like to hero in those spots. Jack 9, I'm hanging around again. You know, he was taking time, but I want to hang around. I want to get my button opening. Once he opens, we just go ahead and fold. Gonna bet once and be done here, because like I say, 9-10 suited just doesn't really do anything for us on any runouts there. So once he checks, he shows some weakness, we go ahead and bet, we take it down. If we didn't, we would just be done with the hand. And just being like, thanks buddy, you enjoy the money. We tried our best. 2 standard opens here. Opens I think everybody makes. King 6 suited should definitely be in a button opening range. We're being raised here by jumper, and again it's that same thing. Don't get silly, don't do anything. We have a kind of semi-decent playable hand here. Let's just call and try and flop something. And if we don't, we just play accordingly. Which is a fold. Kings, we're just going to go for a check call line. Just going to control size of the pot. We know this guy's quite loose. Means he might bet a bit too often. So we're going to call and then really think about the river. On the rainbow board, I would probably just fold here. But when he could just be betting into a flush draw, I call. This river is pretty interesting. I think it's going to be a check call again. He actually has ace 10 there, so he missed a value bet. I just never have ace jack, ace queen, or ace king there. I would have just value bet the life out of him, but he doesn't know that, I guess. So can't hate too much on the player. But roles reversed, I'm getting value there for sure. I think his flop bet and turn bet are great. He should just be, you know, betting, maybe even slightly larger on the turn. But river, you can't miss that. You can't miss that value bet. I might have called there because he's loose and, you know, the draws miss. So yeah, I think I'm calling. Would have been a bad call, but I'm happy to admit that. I'm definitely happy to admit that. Anyway, we're going to sit out, guys. Going to go ahead and play as king 3 suited and isolate this 4-8 suited, and then that'll be us done. King 3, I think I'm going to try a little lead here because I've got a lot. I've got the back doors. I've got the backdoor flush and I've got the backdoor straight draws. Button could just be opening super wide. Bartolini only didn't 3-bet, so he's going to probably just have a hand like, you know, king queen a lot of the time, pocket 8s, pocket 9s that I can get to fold. 4-8 we're going to c-bet, king 3 we're just done because we didn't turn the equity we wanted. Interesting checks here. I might have the best hand. He might have like queen 10 of diamonds. So let's just check and hope we win this last hand of the series. Actually, ace-7, that's a shame. But anyway, guys, I've had an absolute blast. I hope you've enjoyed the 4-part series. Get signed up, get the money. And please leave questions, please leave reviews. And I just hope this has helped you. That's what they're here for, free coaching videos. Any YouTubers watching, I know you're watching this for free on our YouTube channel. But also everything's free on PokerVIP.com. It's the same videos, yes, but what you don't get on YouTube, 700 strategy articles, a poker forum full of players like yourselves, all the top deals, and just everything else that we have, like our unique poker school. So come on over, introduce yourself, and just become part of the biggest growing community in poker. Anyway, this was John for PokerVIP.com, and good luck at the tables.